Hello, this is Lori Garcia, and I would like to welcome our new franchise owners and brewmasters to Brewskis Homebrew Party. I would like to thank you for joining me today, and I welcome your questions or input as we traverse today's topics. It is important to us as a franchise to help you develop contacts within the company and build long-term support between you, your fellow franchisees, and us as the franchisor. In that vein, we hope you make connections with fellow franchise owners and feel confident in our relationship and service to you as well. We all strive for business success, but successful endeavors require networking and camaraderie, both of which are inherent in home brewing. Today we will cover a variety of topics, including the business concept, the history of brewing, and teaching adult learners. First, let's discuss our business concept. As franchise owners and brewmasters, you've already invested a large amount of time in Brewskis because you believe in the concept. Your storefront will provide quality products and classes for people in your area to learn how to brew their own organic beer and wine at home. We can train them at their location in a party atmosphere, or they can attend classes at our facility. The most important thing to remember is that Brewskis Homebrew Party is all about the experience. We truly enjoy the art of organic homebrew, and we want to spread that appreciation to others through educating the public. The most important word in our title is party. Here at Brewskis Homebrew Party, we suggest you incorporate a sense of community in home brewing by organizing a brew club and contests in your geographic area. We also suggest you engage in social networking with outlets such as Facebook and Twitter, and monthly newsletters touting new recipes, classes, and a calendar of opportunities for the home brewer. Now, let's move on to the history of home brewing. In the beginning, there was beer, and it was good. Well, maybe not that good, and maybe not quite at the beginning, but there are some who argue that agriculture and civilization came about because people wanted beer. In any case, people were brewing beer in small batches even 12,000 years ago, at about the same time in geographic locations where people started to transition from nomadic lifestyles to agriculture. In the Sumerian society, beer was so important that the ancient Sumerians actually had a goddess of beer, Ninkasi. That's right, a goddess. In Sumeria, women were the primary brewers. In fact, until recent times, women have always held the responsibility of brewing the fermented nectar, as it was a nutritional necessity. Let's fast forward to Virginia in the year 1587, and Europeans have just produced the first home brew made from the abundant grain of the region, native corn, in what will someday become the United States. In an era when water was not always to be trusted, beer was the safest drink, as it is not hospitable to pathogens. In elementary school, we all learned that the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock in 1620, well north of their intended destination. Now, here at Brewskis Homebrew Party, we're not insinuating they cut the journey short because they were out of beer. You may want to Google that on your own. But one of the first buildings they built after finding their halcyon of religious freedom was a brewery. This knowledge may help you justify your Thanksgiving tradition of beer and football to Grandma. Well, the beer part anyway. Within 17 years of the Pilgrims landing at Plymouth Rock, the legislature of the Massachusetts Bay Colony met to fix the price of beer at not more than 1 penny a quart at most. As time passed on, colonial Americans, at least many of them, believed alcohol could cure the sick, strengthen the weak, enliven the aged, and generally make the world a better place. And Brewskis Home Brew Party agrees. Home brewing was a common household task, and in the colonies, as in ancient Samaria, women did the most brewing. Even colleges created their own brew, and in 1639, when the Harvard Brewery did not supply sufficient beer, President Nathaniel Eaton lost his job. Brewing wasn't limited to your hard-working colonists and college students. The Founding Fathers also enjoyed a nip. John Adams began his day with a draught of hard cider. Thomas Jefferson imported libations from France. Martha Jefferson did a large amount of home brewing, and Samuel Adams managed his father's brewery. Early Americans believed alcohol was healthful, believing it kept people warm, aided digestion, and increased strength. In 1790, the newly formed U.S. government calculated annual per capita consumption for everyone over the age of 15 to be at 34 gallons of beer and cider, 5 gallons of distilled spirits, and 1 gallon of wine. Wow! But it was still safer than water, which often came from polluted, salty, or slimy sources. All was well for 100 years, and then home brewers became outlaws. In 1919, the U.S. enacted prohibition, and an American pastime became an illegal activity. With the passage of the 21st Amendment in 1933, prohibition came to an end, but due to a clerical error, it was missing the words, "and beer." So home brewers of beer would have to wait several more decades to shed their outlaw status, although the statute did legalize making wine at home. In 1979, President Jimmy Carter signed H.R. 1337, which created an exemption from taxation for personal beer brewed at home. This finally legalized home brewing, and 9 years later, Congress recognized May 7th as National Homebrew Day. Today, only 2 states remain where homebrewing is not legal: Alabama and Mississippi. But when they are, we guarantee there will be a Brewskis Home Brew Party franchise there as well. Our final and most important discussion today will focus on teaching adult learners. In our industry, it is essential we consider the adult learners, as they are our customer base. Without getting too technical, we will review when adults learn best. One of the key factors in successful adult learning is motivation. Our learners are our customers. They seek us out to teach them how to home brew. So it would seem that the motivating factor is learning to brew beer. But it is much more than that. Remember, we feel it is important to foster a social culture of home brewing in our customers and invest our focus on that social connection. If we can build that social culture, we will see repeat customers and increase our profits. But moreover, we'll be supporting a home brew community in our geographic areas. Whether you teach our customers how to home brew at their homes for a private party, or if you are teaching customers how to brew in a regularly scheduled class at your facility, the focus for our adult learners should be motivation through an encouraging and positive connection to the social culture of home brewing. In academic circles, this is called affective learning, but the essence of this idea is simple: make it fun. Many advertisers, from Google to Frito-Lay, are actively experimenting with neuromarketing by studying consumer responses to product stimuli. Understanding brain activity in our adult learners can support our product goals as well. Our suggestions to you include providing your customers with visuals and anecdotal information, much like I provided you when I presented the history of brewing. This will make the experience memorable and solidify those concepts. It is also very important that you are sensitive to cultural and economic differences of your customers. Second language learners may need you to speak more slowly, whereas people from the northeastern U.S. may become agitated if you speak too slowly. Just don't make assumptions about any of your customers. The customers are the reason we have the best jobs in the world here at Brewskis Homebrew Party. Adults expect you to be an active listener, more than a child might. Customers may not actually ask you questions, but based on their oral or body communication, you should be able to anticipate a lack of understanding. If they miss one step in the brewing process and their brew doesn't turn out well, or if they aren't comfortable asking you questions, do you think they will become repeat customers? Be aware of your own body language as well. You should become an expert at asking questions of your customers, as well as answering them with respect for your customers. Adults also expect you to believe in their abilities. Support them with your effective communication in a positive and balanced way. See, here at Brewskis Homebrew Party, we want to teach our community to brew organic beer, but we also understand that home brewing is about more than the finished product. It is about the experience. Now, my suggestion is you provide your customers with a survey prior to their course so they can ensure their experience meets their needs. This survey goes beyond identifying the type of ale or lager they would like to craft. As you can see from the on-screen example, questions which will support their learning experience involve identifying their previous experiences and their current level of knowledge about brewing. After the brew party, we suggest you follow up with your customers to determine if their needs were met and to make adjustments if necessary in your teaching style through a class evaluation. In conclusion, remember, it is critical for us at Brewskis to acknowledge that we are educators. So here are some tips on supporting our customers as learners. Revisit the important information often. It is critical that these steps we must partake in are solidified in our students' minds. You can also create some handouts, and we can offer those to you here at Brewskis. Obviously, the most important of these is make it fun. Thank you for attending this learning event for the Brewskis Homebrew Party franchise. You will be receiving a survey in your email to assist us in providing you with an even better learning opportunity in the future.